number you have reached is not in service.
The easiest thing to do after this recent terror attack in Stockholm would be to say, "I told you so." I can see how that must be very tempting to say for some people. And already on the very same day of the attack, Twitter was flooded with tweets from people almost displaying this sick kind of excitement over their chance to use this terrible act as political ammunition against their opponents. Assholes on the right were retweeting pictures of their crushed countrymen, someone's father, brother, or daughter, and saying, "Look at what those fucking Muslims have done!" Exclamation mark, exclamation mark. That was their contribution to the whole debate. The left then, like clockwork, came forth to defend Islam and also stand by their insane ideas about immigration which have enabled dangerous people to come to Sweden completely under the radar. They defended their naive and childish dreams of a utopia that has in practice made Sweden a more dangerous place to live. So since I felt surrounded by opportunists who were feeding off the dead to further their own political goals, I just avoided the whole thing. I read about it, I watched the news, but I didn't want to talk about one of these most likely many terror attacks to come. The murderer, Rakhmat Akilov, has been insanely predictable as an individual. He is the very same ISIS fluffer fanboy without value as a human being making a limp-dicked attempt at leaving some kind of imprint upon the world. Scum like him are beyond predictable at this point and are just as bland and meaningless as people's reactions to his act. So I'm not going to go on about what a violent and hateful religion Islam is, which is the majority religion in his homeland Uzbekistan. I'm not going to, without any effort, throw out verse after verse from the Quran which supports the killing of infidels. Most intelligent people know already that Islam supports murder. And the fact that Akilov attempted to travel down and fight with ISIS is also meaningless information. Who gives a shit at this point? What matters is that if our immigration policies had been even remotely sane, this wouldn't have had to happen. Akilov wouldn't have been our problem. The rat had no reason to be here. He slipped through our massively lacking border security and then dodged the authorities by stating fake addresses. He was a criminal. Our politicians and their policies made him our problem. Our security police had had their eyes on him for a while, but I will promise you that our migration agency would have done their utmost to go against any recommendations from the security police to deport the fucker. Why? Well, because for some reason there always seems to be this drive from our government to collect all the filth from the MENA region right here in Sweden. Rapist? Not a problem. Pedophile? Please do enjoy your stay. Islamic radical? Take a cookie and a tissue, you poor thing. We make scum like Akilov our problem by making it so difficult to kick them out. Do you think Hungary or Poland would have tolerated this kind of shit from asylum seekers? Denmark and Norway have the common sense to at least try to give Islamists a thick boot in their ass. But with us, it's always so vague, it's so abstract, and it's so problematic. Look for instance at court cases regarding murderers, thieves or rapists who have a foreign nationality and who've committed crimes while seeking asylum. In the trials, they 9 times out of 10 have a chance to be allowed to stay in Sweden because they come from a shithole that is an active conflict zone.
We don't send people to their deaths in Sweden.
Listen. Many of them don't even come from these areas. The Afghani embassy in Stockholm is pissed off at our migration agency since they keep granting permanent citizenships to people who have been claiming to come from Afghanistan but turn out to not be. These people are not stupid. They figure out that if they say that they come from a country at war, their chances to be able to stay will increase. It doesn't take a genius to get that. So you're free to sodomize a 10-year-old in a bathhouse as long as you then claim to be under the age of 18 and come from a country at war. We're going to let that pass then. This is the result of our pathetic policies. The decisions of our weak politicians did this. I don't give a shit about Islam. I know it's cancer and that it pollutes everything it touches, but that's beside the point. We have made this our problem, and it isn't. Human waste such as Akilov isn't our problem. He's not our responsibility as a nation, and he shouldn't have come here, and he sure as hell shouldn't have been able to stay. But we have somewhere between 25,000 to 50,000 people in this country are here illegally, and we have no idea where they are. And to add to this idiocy, we are in this country, as I'm recording this, seriously having a debate over if we should make having affiliations with terrorist organizations a crime. We are having a heated discussion over if it should be against the law to support or be a member of a group of people that gang rape Yazidi women and girls, burn people alive in cages, and hang homosexuals. In Sweden, it's apparently a bit of a gray area. It's a bit problematic. But 7 out of 8 parties now support making it illegal to be a member of a fucking terrorist organization, so I guess there's hope for all of us. This idiocy has resulted in a society that exists parallel to our own, which consists of people in hiding, who are living completely off the radar. And we reward their act of hiding by offering them, after 18 months of having had their asylum applications rejected, a new chance to apply again. Akilov, if he had successfully dodged our authorities for 18 months, would have had the ability to apply again to seek asylum. This act in Stockholm is just going to be one of many if we don't even slightly start giving a damn about who we have inside our country. It's time to grow up and realize that you are naive if you think that we are holier than the rest of the countries in the EU that have been suffering and dying due to acts of imported terrorism coming from unregulated mass immigration. Belgium, for fuck's sake, which is one of the most tolerant and accepting nations in the world, still got attacked, and now we have too. Our cozy little humanitarian superpower in the north have got attacked despite our tolerance. We need to immediately reinstate REVA, a cooperation between the police and migration agency which between the years of 2009 and 2013 resulted in a 23% increase in deportations of illegal immigrants that had been hiding in Sweden. But due to its effectiveness in rounding up illegals, the REVA project was of course aggressively protested against by the left, who apparently enjoy people without the need for asylum residing in the country illegally, instead of saving our resources for the people who are in actual need. The pro-mass immigration crowd claimed that REVA was practicing racial profiling against people with foreign appearance, which is a complaint about something I failed to see anything wrong with. The majority of the people residing illegally in Sweden are not blonde and blue-eyed. So logically, you would focus your resources on checking those who are not blonde and blue-eyed. It's a weird thing for you to get hung up on. And if you are of foreign descent and you get triggered by this, you should be in support of REVA and support getting rid of illegals, and as a result be spared from people's assumptions about your right to be in the country. Because in a country free from illegals, your place as a citizen, no matter of your race, would be clearly shown to all through having passed through the scrutiny of our laws. Only through hiding illegals will your right to call Sweden your home ever be questioned, and your ability to be spared the prejudice of others will remain unattainable. Because respecting and having faith in the laws of the land is the only way that you will ever become a member of it. Illegals being hidden and protected from Swedish law makes the rift between us and them grow, and fails to properly reward those who enter our land by actually using the proper channels. The part with all of this that just blows my mind is how a lot of people after the terror attack in Stockholm had this attitude where they pretty much said,
"Well, we've been expecting this to happen, sooner or later."
The question which immediately came to mind was, well, why the hell didn't you do anything? Experts have been warning us about this for several years, but our politicians, our opinion leaders, their response seems to have been summarized with,
Shit. We really should have done something about that.
Yeah, you idiots really should have done something, like not allowing terrorists to come back into the country and providing them with healthcare and financial aid. That would be a good thing not to have done. But I'm going to risk sounding cynical and say that you most likely won't. You won't kick REVA into overdrive, you won't start checking people's papers in record numbers, and you won't stop hugging these poor jihadists who you are letting back into this country. All of you in authority positions are just gonna lower your brow to imitate concern and imitate being worried and caring all until election day, and then we will go back to the same insanity once more, until some more people die. This won't end until we change policies and grow up as a nation. It's time to get real. We will only continue being told to love and tolerate our murderers and to carry on as usual. I think you should think about if that is how you want to live your life in this country. Think about that real hard, and then vote accordingly. That's all I have to say about it. Take care.
Hello, no one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.